Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we saw yesterday US market reverting back a bit, mainly on a concern that the uh, CPI inflation is expected today, and before that, market is bit cautious, because this will drive the action by the Fed in the coming meeting. So the expectation is that uh, the inflation will increase by around 0.4% month on month. That is last month to this month. Against last month, it increased by 0.1%. If you take last 3 months, in Jan, it has increased by around zero point 0.5, Feb it is zero point 0.4, and then March 0.1, and again now expected at zero point 0.4. So consistently remaining higher, so that can cause a bit concern. So if the inflation come at a higher level, then it may act bit negative for the market. Uh, Apart from that, taking cue from the US, even Asian market are also soft and are seeing a bit concern on that. And even uh, Indian market may also see similar type of trend in today's trade. I'll request technical team to take up from here.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, all of you. As we have seen a very flattish opening in yesterday's session, and there was a profit booking in second half. And taking the cues from the global market, we feel there's going to be a flattish opening in Nifty, and it is going to be a sideways move in today's trading session. The immediate resistance, the the immediate resistance for Nifty is where it is above 18,330. Once Nifty gives a closing above 18,330, then it can inch towards 18,400 to 500 levels, whereas 18,200 will be a very strong support zone for Nifty, followed by 18,100. Moving on to Bank Nifty had shown a similar pattern like Nifty. It has given a profit booking in yesterday's second half. For today, again, we are expecting a sideways momentum in Bank Nifty. Further rally will only be seen in Bank Nifty once it gives a closing above 43,440 to 450 levels. Once those are broken, then 43,700 to 44,000 levels will be tested in the coming sessions. Whereas the immediate support on the downside is placed at 43,000, for the 42,740. Nifty Financial Services, it was a very flattish in yesterday's session in 19,270 was a closing, where the immediate resistance for this index is placed at 19,370, followed by 19,460 to 500. Whereas support for this index is placed at 19,200, followed by 19,150. Moving on to stocks, Ayush Mehta is looking good at current levels. It has given a strong breakout. It can inch towards 3480. One can take a buy call in that, but with a strict stop loss of 3330. That's all from my side. I request the derivative team to take the call forward.
Thank you, Ayush. On the derivative front, nothing much has changed overnight. Open interest has increased a little, while VIX continues to remain around the 12 or 12 and a half levels, and PCR around the 1 area. Important thing to note here is the stop loss for longs, which is around 18,000 levels. Good part is that 18,100 and 18,200 strike puts are witnessing some built up. So writers are getting active there, and base is likely to shift higher going forward from 18,000 to 18,200 odd levels, which is going to be a good sign. From the call front, however, there is some disappointing news where you are seeing aggressive call writing around 18,300, 400, 500 strikes. And that doesn't augur well for the upside. So all in all, there is likely to be some resistance coming in from 18,400 to 500 odd levels. That is the important thing to note. However, we believe 18,500 will be touched in a couple of days, and post that some selling can come in. So as of now, indicators are at the same place, but need to be cautious going forward. From the stock specific front, MGL, IGL did pretty well. As I've been saying, PSUs as a basket continue to look good. There is something really going on in the PSU stocks. Most of them are seeing short covering action, and post that some good long additions are seen once that short covering is over. So, that is the same thing which has happened for MGL and IGL. All stocks in the FNO basket the PSU stocks are likely to witness the same thing going forward. So look out for the same. Concor is one more stock which is now witnessing some short covering action. There is a good likelihood that this stock can go up quite significantly. Once that short covering is over, long creation should be built in. Yeah, so look out for the same. Yeah, that's it from my side. I'd like to ask the fundamental team to take over, please.
Good morning. IRB Infrastructure Developers has reported 19% year-on-year growth and 5% month-on-month growth in the toll collection for April at 388 crores. So this is positive. Five-star business finance result has improved on all fronts. Loan book came at 6,900 crores, 36% growth year-on-year, 11% growth sequential. Net interest margin remains stable at 18.5%. This is very high because of high capital adequacy of 67%. And the profits also showed similar kind of growth, what we saw on the loan book side. Profits grew 43% year-on-year and 12% sequentially. Asset quality is improving with every quarter. Net NPA is now at just 0.7%. ROE after listing has for the first time crossed 16% mark. So this will be seen positively. Although the company caters to bottom of the pyramid customers with average ticket size of just around 3 lakh rupees, but the book is secured and growth is expected to continue to be more than 30%. So aggressive investors can consider the stock. We are positive. TD Power Systems result has improved. Revenue growth was at 10%. However, EBITDA margin continued to improve to 17.5% versus 16% in previous quarter. And profit also came at 34 crores versus last 5-6 quarters. If you see, it has been ranging in the 20 to 25 crore mark. So good improvement in profits as well. Although stock is trading at PE of 19 times FY25, which seems to be close to fully valued, but looking at good visibility in growth of 15 odd %, we think it's a decent kind of compounding stock from these levels. Thank you.
Good morning. Latent View Analytics has posted decline set of numbers for the quarter, with revenue declining by 3% QOQ and 20% year and improved by 20% year on year. Q3 is seasonally the strongest quarter. Follow on the work based on projects executed in Q3 was delayed, pushed out, resulting into lower revenue. Even EBITDA margins declined and came at 21.3% versus QOQ of 29.5%. High payroll cost, increase in operating expense, and impact of lower revenue impacted the margins. Stock is trading at a PE of 49.2 times TTM EPS. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. Birla Corp result was broadly in line with expectation. Sales volume came in at 4.4 million ton versus expectation of 4.3 million ton. Realization improved to 5,280 versus 5,177 in the last quarter. This was mainly due to increase in sales of premium cement, which stood at 54% for the quarter as compared to 49% previously. EBITDA per ton stood at 618 versus expectation of 621. If we look at ex Mukutban, the EBITDA per ton stood at 689 versus 650 last year. Earlier, the management had indicated that the Mukutban plant will break even in the second half of by the second half of FY24. So that will be a key thing to look forward to. The stock is trading at EV by EBIT of 9 times FY24 earnings. Nuvoco Vista's result was below expectation. Sales volume came in at 5.2 million ton versus expectation of 5.3 million ton. Realization stood at 5,632 versus expectation of 5,833. EBITDA per ton stood at 732 versus expectation of 768. The stock is trading at EV by EBITDA of 9.5 times FY24 earnings. Thank you.
Good morning. Apollo Tyres announced its result. The result was ahead of expectation. Revenue came in at 6,247 crores versus an expectation of 6,228 crores, which grew by 3% sequentially and grew by 12% on a YY basis. EBITDA margin expansion sequentially for Polo is lower on account of lower margin improvement in Europe. Standalone gross margin expansion is similar to that of MRF and CEAT. EBITDA margin came in at 16% versus an expectation of 14.8%. A fall in raw material expenses contributed to the improvement in margins. Input costs dropped 11% YOY to 2,762 crores. Raw material cost as a percentage of total sales was 44% in the quarter compared to 56% YOY. In terms of geography, the Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa region witnessed a 10% growth in sales to around 4,433 crores. The Europe market registered a 9% YOY growth to 1,839 crores. Apollo has witnessed good recovery in the commercial vehicle segment in India. Company's performance going forward will be positively impacted by the uptick in the replacement demand, especially in India, along with stable input costs. The stock is trading at a PE of 16.9 times FY24 EPS. Thank you.
Good morning. Pidilite Industries held its con call yesterday, and it has more insights on that. The consolidated revenue for FY23 grew by 18.9% YOY on account of volume growth, improved product mix, and increased prices. Its key raw material VAMs consumption rates have lowered from 2,420 per ton dollar to in Q4 FY22 to $1,300 per ton in Q4 FY23, and the current rate is at around $1,100 per ton. It has launched and completed its paints and coatings portfolio. This was largely led by the request from its dealers to complete its remaining portfolio in the segment. So it has already having 2/3 of the range, and with this launch, they have completed 1/3 of the range to complete the portfolio. This has enabled them to deal with the. This has enabled the dealers to deal with the only one company to serve their end consumers. Pidilite aims at being present in all product categories to be a complete package of home improvement company, and the management indicates a volume-led growth in revenue performance of FY24 and expects to return to its previous margin profile of 20 to 24% range of operating margins during the year, and it can show it from the Q1 itself. The stock is trading at 57 times to FY25 EPS, and the outlook is positive over the long term. SRF Limited posted result above expectation. The revenue grew by 6.4% YOY at rupees 3,778 crore. The chemical business revenue grew by 34% with the margin expansion of 310 basis points YOY basis. However, technical textiles and packaging film business revenue degrew by 13% and 17% respectively. EBITDA margin reported at 25.4% versus expectation of 24.4%. The margins were largely supported by the chemical business. During the year, the company has applied for 406 patents, and 8 patents were applied during the quarter. The stock is trading at a PE of 31.3 times to FY24 EPS. We will provide the outlook after the con call scheduled today. The L&T's Beck India Limited result has improved. The revenue grew by 8.4% YOY at rupees 169 crore, largely on account of 10% YOY growth in electrical insulation segment. The EBITDA grew by 17.9% YOY and 20.2% QOQ at rupees 35.6 crore, with the margin reported at 21% versus 19.3% YOY. During the quarter, the margin performance of both the segments improved. The stock is trading at a PE of 49.8 times to TTM EPS. Thank you.
Yeah, Lupin reported numbers, and the numbers are ahead of expectations. Sales grew by 14% year on year, and EBITDA margin came in at 13% versus expectation of 12%, quarter on quarter 11.9%, and year on year 5.8%. In this, US sales grew by 9.5% year on year, and India sales grew by 9.4%. And these two are the major contributor, contributing almost around 70% of the sales. And apart from that, API has grown substantially by around 46% year on year. So these were the outperformer for growth in the company, and rest of the world, that is a smaller portion, has degrew by around 2%. So overall, company had seen some revival. The performance of the company got impacted earlier substantially. Now is seeing some revival in last few quarters. We'll come back on the outlook post the con call of the company in today's evening. Apart from that, result for 12th. Supply is expected to report numbers, and numbers are likely to show stable set of number. Revenue likely to grow by around 10%. EBITDA apparently will be looking growing by almost around 64% because of the lower base last year, but will be reaching to a reasonable level of 21-22% in this quarter. So more of a okay set of numbers. Colgate Palmolive result will be declining, wherein the revenue growth of 3% and EBITDA decline of 5% expected year on year. Then Hindustan Aeronautics result is likely to be okay with revenue growth of 5% and EBITDA growth of 9%. Then HPCL is likely to show good numbers. We had seen Chennai Petro and Bangalore Refinery reporting good numbers. So quite possible refining business of Hindustan Petroleum is likely to show good numbers. As such, EBITDA margin is expected to expand from 1.5% to 4.4% quarter on quarter. Though revenue is likely to be a bit lower at decline by 7% quarter on quarter, but PAT will increase by almost, EBITDA will increase by almost around 170% quarter on quarter. So result is likely to be good for HPCL. Then Polycab is likely to report okay set of number with year on year revenue growth of 10% and EBITDA growth of around 12%. Then Sapphire Food is likely to report with declining numbers with revenue growth of 16% year on year, but EBITDA margins are likely to show some declining trend both quarter on quarter and year on year by almost around 100-150 basis points, mainly on account of increasing material cost, specifically related to the milk product. Tata Motor is likely to report improved set of numbers, wherein the margins are likely to expand by around almost 150 basis point quarter on quarter. And also revenue is also likely to show around 15% growth quarter on quarter and 30% growth year on year. So the result of Tata Motor is likely to be better. Then APL Apollo Tube is likely to report number, and numbers are likely to be okay, wherein margins will see some expansion of around 30-40 basis point, and revenue is likely to grow by around 6% quarter on quarter. Then DLF is likely to report numbers. Here the key thing to watch will be the new bookings, and what the company had said post this, that the new booking was very strong in March quarter. So quite possible that that will be the key thing to watch, and likely to report new bookings. Last quarter, the new bookings were at around 2,500 crores, and expectations are at around anywhere between 3,500 to 4,000 crores. Then Indraprasth Gas is likely to report number. Here the numbers are likely to show improved set of numbers. In fact, the result was yesterday and that got postponed to 12th now. Then Vedanta is likely to report number. Here the numbers are likely to show improvement quarter on quarter. Last quarter the margin came in at around 20%, which is likely to increase to 24%. But what we had seen that the zinc prices, which is the key contributor to the profitability, has shown declining trend in the current quarter, that is the Q1. So even after this good quarter number, we may not see any great movement in Vedanta share prices. That's all from us. Now I'll request commodity team to take up from here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So in today's session, we are expecting bounce back in precious metal. One can buy gold around 61,200 to 150 and maintain a stop loss of 60,900. On upside, 61,550 to 700 is the target we are looking for. And one can book profit at these levels and wait for a direction as prices are resisting 61,550 to 700 zone. And in silver also, we expect prices to pull back from 77,000, and buying is recommended with a stop loss of 76,500. And in crude oil, we had seen a good recovery from the support level of 5,900, and this could continue. So buying around 59.70 is recommended with a stop loss below 59.30, and on upside 6050 is the level we are looking for to book profits. Natural gas, we expect prices to test 195, 197. So buying around 183, 82 is recommended with a stop loss of 175. Crude oil, copper may test 748, 47 levels, whereby buying interest should be witnessed. So buying around 47, 48 is recommended in copper with a strict stop loss of 744. On upside, we are seeing 753 to 55 as a resistance zone. So profit taking is advisable at those levels. Zinc, as long as 236 it is holding on, we expect a pullback till 243, 45 levels. So buying on dips in zinc is recommended. That's it from me. I'll ask Utkarsh to take over from here.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, all of you. In USD INR, one can initiate a short position for the intraday purpose around 82.10 to 82.15 levels with a strict stop loss of 82.25 levels for the target of 82.02 and 81.95 levels. In Euro INR, for trading purpose, one can initiate long positions in the range of 90.10 to 90.05 levels with a stop loss of 80.85 levels for the target of 90.37 and 90.50 levels. In GBP INR, one can initiate long positions in the range of 103.55 to 103.50 levels for the target of 103.75 and 103.80. And one can initiate also short positions around 103.80 with a strict stop loss of 103.95 for the target of 103.67 levels. In GBP INR, one can create a long positions if we might some profit booking around 60.67 levels or 60.80 levels with a strict stop loss of 60.55 levels for the target of 61.08 and 61.17 levels. Thank you.